Good morning, Martians. Well, after talking with a few of you guys, I was reading through some feedback on some comments, and I wanted to show my settings that I'm using in the game right now. Blue Ice says he's getting that head shake thing. If anybody else is getting that still, I remember a while back, I got it like a couple of times, but it was quite a while ago, and I thought the devs had fixed it. I'm not sure exactly, or if it's just some settings that I have set, so I wanted to show here on screen, and I'll try to zoom in on some areas unless you view it. I usually view full screen on everything, but I'll zoom in on some areas here. As far as my resolution goes, in 1920 by 1080, 16 by 9. 3D resolution scale is 1 times. Full screen, yes. Vertical synchronization, no. Or on, I mean. Sorry, I said no. That's my dyslexia kicking in. Gamma correction, that's, just light and dark. Field of view, 75 degrees. Now, I know some people like 90. I figured the less I see, the better. Remember I was getting the pop-ins, and, well, I got that today on my last video that I'm uploading right now. I forget which number it is. 24, 25, I think it's 25. But yeah, I had this higher at one point, but I reduced this down so I have a more narrow view. I figure the less I see, the less pop-ins I can have. So I don't know if that really helped me. My favorite view is actually the 3D dynamic, but recently I've been using 3D static just because I manipulate the HUD, and it's a little harder to do when it's moving around with my head independent of the actual helmet. So I stick with the 3D static. As far as render goes, I have geometry details all the way up, because I don't like to take a couple of steps away from a round object and it becomes, an octagon. You take a couple, you look back and the cube is a ball. So I kept that all the way up. I have terrain detail all the way down because I figure it's just dirt. I don't have any water, so that's all the way down. I don't have any grass, so that's all the way down. Texture detail I have at the midpoint. As far as texture goes, there's not a lot that I need to worry about that has like writing on it. Like, I don't know, the mobile lab tends to have some detail you want to see in the graphics, but mostly I don't have to worry about texture detail, so I have it on midway. I wish I could have all this on super high, but there's issues. Texture filtering's on, what is that, Trillinier? Whatever the hell that means. I'll zoom in on that so you can see it. Light details midpoint. I got shadow detail midpoint. Normally when I play games, everything's on max. But they're still working on it, so I figure, whatever. Post-process is a little below half. There's really no percentages here, so I'm just leaving it below half. And high quality AA, I think that's anti-aliasing. That's all the way off. Whatever. I'm not sure if that was causing me issues or what. Depth of field strength, all the way off. Camera bob, I have all the way off. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with the Polsy effect that we used to get. Now, if you see by my cursor there, it looks like there's some black words written there that I can't see. You know what I mean? I can't see it on top of here, but it's like something's going on there. It always wigged me out. I can't really make it out. So camera bob all the way down. Picture in picture. Sequentially. Am I saying that right? Yeah, sequentially. And now here, the physics simulation detail. It says, caution, on lower settings, certain vehicles, such as the small rovers, may have like rubber banding or whatever. I have it on 80 hertz, 5 iterations max. That's where I'm at with that. Now, I don't know. I did mess with this a whole bunch when I had the head bob issues, but I also went in here and manually, I didn't just click low, medium, high, or max. I actually went in and changed everything until it worked best for me. Now, still, when I get too many pieces, I get the pop-ins. There's nothing I can do about that. There's a max. It doesn't see all my RAM. It doesn't see all my processors. It's a game thing. Evidently. As far as sound goes, I like having sound effects, so it's just below midpoint. Music is on almost the first notch. And wait a minute, I have subtitles on? Let's get that the hell off. Realistic sound is off because I like controlling that sound in my editors. The walking and the smashing. Now the truck can get loud, so I can just reduce truck here and there in my editing. Now the weird thing about that is my recording software, they just updated it, Game Capture HD. They had an update, and it was working fine. It's like half the time it works good. I split it into 3 different tracks. I got the video track with all the audio, and then I have a separate track for my commentary and another track for the game. Now it seems to me that periodically that this damn software, Game Capture HD, will over time go out of sync. And I've heard this, other people say it, they have different ways that solves it for them, turn on and off commentary, blah blah blah. I've tried all that. I get the same result. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now I've spent an hour cutting up my audio track, everything I say. I make a cut and make a space so I can move it, and realign it with the video because I like to manipulate my freaking commentary. I like to manipulate the game audio. It's just ridiculous, man. I'm really getting tired of this fucking software. I may have to switch it out. But it works best for my setup. I record on a Mac off to the side here as a second monitor from my PC. So I have 2 separate video cards, one coming out as my capture. So I really like the way it's set up. It's just, Jesus H. Christ, what is this time dilation thing they have going on with Game Capture HD? Then now they have the Game Capture HD 60. Well, you know what? I am so leery. I would buy it. And hopefully it fixed the issue. But you know what? If a company fucks me over once, I really have a hard time giving them more money for an upgrade. I mean, I have to buy the box, the capture device, and then you get the new software, and yay! Once you let me down as a company, you're probably not going to get any more money from me. That's just how I roll with that. As far as my input goes, no gamepad, units and measurements. This really doesn't have any effect on gameplay except for your mouse control. So I tend to take this all the way almost down because I have a mouse that has buttons on it that I can speed it up if I want to. This tends to pop up anyway higher every time I start the game. So that's a little weird in my mouse sensitivity. So I went into my mouse controller and set it down because this always bump it up a little bit. Now I'm not really sure why they're... Can you imagine if it was set up on high? They shouldn't even have this. I mean, it should have like none and then 50 and 100. 3 little buttons or something. Because, yeah, the mouse sensitivity is crazy. You've probably seen how I will turn, and then it's just so quick. It's ridiculous. Key bindings I have as default. But so, the rendering settings is the most important thing. So this is what works for me. And I understand that games like this do not see all my RAM. It doesn't see all my processors. So I cannot take advantage of my tech for some reason. But hopefully try these settings, see if the head bob goes away, Blue Ice, or anybody who's having that, and make a comment back on this. I think his main comment was on season 3, number 22 is where we're kind of talking about it. So if you have issues, pop in there, and if you found something that might help. I'm not really sure what's causing the palsy effect. There we go, we got a new terminology. The palsy effect, It's ridiculous. I did have it at one point. It went away. I don't know if it was because of my settings. I thought the devs fixed something, 5 updates ago, which was 5 years. So I don't know. And the reason I'm not a spokesman for this company is because I'm pretty hard on them when I come across shit. You probably noticed that I cuss all the time. So there's no way they would want me as a rep. Oh, look, this guy does, one every day for a couple years. It's like crazy. So I'm not affiliated with the company at all. I love the game. I think it has great potential, and I'm so glad they're working on the manned mission part because I've barely done any rover stuff. I would have never even played this game if it didn't have the manned mission part where I could do my role play and mess around like that. I love that. I have other issues too, like the new descent vehicle comes with the creative printer, and I'm like, I can't even get rid of it. So if I was going to do a multiplayer, it has to come with the creative. That should be an option. When you go to multiplayer, yes or no on creative printer, man. I mean, I have a scenario set up where you have to do it with the resources and everything, but nope, you got this, and I can't even delete it. There's no way of getting rid of it. I could probably drive it and throw it off the end of the map. I may have to do that just to get it away from everybody. It's just ridiculous. So make that an option. But these are my settings. Hopefully that helps out somebody. And I never click these. I've tried the max. Oh, God, I can't wait until they fine-tune this so I can max everything out. That'd be sweet. But right now it's working for me on my new main gear, so I'm very happy about that. I don't have to switch back and forth. When I'm playing, I was using my Alienware, and that's the one I had the palsy effect on, was my Alienware a while back. So now on this machine I don't have that, but I don't think it had anything to do with that. I don't know what's causing that, but if anybody has any feedback, please add it to the conversation to help others, because it's ridiculous. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you my settings. But if we don't have the same exact specs on our rig, I don't know if that would really help anybody. But yeah, whatever. Try it. Mess with these. Geometry detail. Pull it all the way down. I don't know. I mean, mess around but I would suggest not going max. I don't know. Maybe if you're on a machine with, parameters that are within the game specs, that would work, but it doesn't work for me. I'll probably try it again, but there's no way for me to set this as a profile, so I have to take a screen capture. Now I'm videoing it, so I can actually go and remember my settings. So I may try the max again at some point, but yeah, you saw what happened if you did about the pop-ins. When that started happening, I get pissed. So once we wrap up this building, we may have to head to a new location, a new map, and try and start from scratch again, because, well, not totally from scratch, because I can take the printer I have now apart and put it in the truck, and we could just go to a new map. I can copy that right into a new map, and maybe we'll head to the North Pole. I don't know. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I thought I would share this. Hopefully it helps somebody out. I'll catch you next time, and yeah, later.